Yeah, sure. I want to talk about how much energy we can lose. You know, a lot of people, we don't realize exactly how much sexual energy do we burn and spend in our whole life. Because a lot of people, this is just automatic. It's just habitual. It's like what we all do, both men and women. You know. Um, so before we can really realize how much energy we're going to save, it's not a. I mean, I know there's too many videos on that. Oh, you're going to have so much energy. But let's just look at it practical level, and you tell me if you think you're going to have more energy. Average, I don't know, average person, but many guys, this is their daily life. Maybe they wake up, masturbate, thinking about girls, go outside in public, checking which girl's looking at me. Ooh, which girl looks hot. I wonder if I can get her number. Goes back home, maybe throws on some porn. Sexual fantasies. This is what they do. Like the whole life is spent like that. Even if somebody was in a hospital bed and they couldn't move, they still got their imagination. And they're going to use it. And they're going to think about this stuff. I want to give a good story. This is a true story. There's this guy, he wanted to die because he just felt life, this is just meaningless. It's too much. But he was somehow tuned enough to know that he can't just kill himself, that there's some karma for that, you know, and it wouldn't make the transition into the next plane so easy. So he was going to dry fast himself to death, and so he went out into the woods. He went deep into the woods, like I am. I'm deep in the wood now. So he went far enough out because he's dry fasted before. So have I, and this is true. He knows that once you get to a certain point, you don't have any energy. You know, after a few days, 5-6 days, you're not gonna be able to hike too far. So he got far enough out there. He put up a little canopy or tent. He didn't bring any food, water, nothing, and then he started to try to kill himself. And he documented all this stuff each day, what it was like, you know. And it was like day I don't know 5 or something. He wrote down he was having fantasies. He kept seeing naked women jumping around in his head. It like kept him going, you know, giving him energy. And he wrote like, wow, this sexual instinct is unbelievable. It just hangs on until you die. So that's the point. And it has to be there. God put it there because this planet wouldn't exist if we didn't have the drive to mate. But has it become excessive? Has it led to making your life unmanageable? You have to do the introspection and see. If you're watching these kind of videos, if you're interested in them, then chances are there's some inkling you have that maybe you're doing this a little too much. Maybe it's causing some problems, you know. But if you spend your whole day, just imagine if you're free just for 24 hours, you can try to do this. Most people can't do it for 5 minutes though. Don't have any thoughts. Don't let your mind go there. You can't prevent yourself from not having any thoughts, but you can even some people can't help giving their attention to the thoughts. But you got to make a start. Stop giving your attention to these thoughts that are keeping you in this sexual instinct world. And it can be on gross level from like watching porn or going to, you know, prostitutes or massage parlors, and then it can also be subtle, more in the mind, just fantasy, objectifying women when you see them, imagining what it's like to be with them, trying to get female attention and attraction, you know, all that. Just don't do that. If you didn't do that for 24 hours, you'd see like, wow, how much time is spent on just the mind, on those thought streams of thinking about this stuff. So if you didn't do all that, isn't it clear you have more energy? And then you can use the energy to go do whatever you want to do. This is what the people are talking about, manifestation and all this stuff. Because you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more surplus energy. Now, I do want to say this, though. This is the other thing. When some people, they can get on semen retention and they can feel, well, I lost my energy. Like, this sucks. I don't want to keep doing this. And others can argue, you know, when I'm that actually feeding the edging and lusting behavior actually gives me energy. It's like, what are you talking about? So this is what happens. This whole mind trip around sex and lust, it's a strong dopamine hit. You get energy from that. It's not true energy though. It's a sugar high energy. It's a drug. Dopamine's a strong drug and it feels good. And so people get addicted to it. They want to keep doing it. That gives you a sense of energy. When you cut, and if you go long enough, you're going to burn your nervous system out and you won't have any energy. You won't be able to get a hit anymore. It's like you burn those receptors out and then it's not going to give you any energy and you're just going to crash. And then when you stop doing all that stuff and start practicing semen retention, you're also not going to have any energy. See, that's a real bottom. But what I want to say is those people that when we're getting this dopamine hit via edging and lust and acting out, this dopamine drug gives us a lot of seeming energy. It's energy, but it's an artificial energy. It's not a true, balanced, solid, stable energy. You see, you don't want to count on that energy. And at the same time, it does damage to your nerves, clearly, because it's a hit. You just keep hitting it. You're hitting this dopamine box over and over again. Your adrenal glands and everything are going to burn out after a while. It's like if you drink too much coffee after a certain point, it gives you energy, but then you're going to crash. So when people start practicing semen retention, they can start to complain like, well, I don't have any energy. Like, where's my energy? You told me I'm going to have energy. I stopped. Now I don't have any energy. I'm going to go back and do it again. I know I can get a hit because the mind says you look at some porn or go into some fantasy thought or go out and mack a girl, you'll get a hit. You can feel it because it's a dopamine release. So when you stop the semen retention, you crash for a little while. You got to go through that. So you got to go through that. Your adrenal glands and nervous system are going to resort back to ground zero when you stop hitting the dopamine box. So then you got to build yourself up in a natural way. When you stop all that addiction, your adrenal glands and nervous system are going to start to rebuild and you're going to start to get clean, stable energy. This is what you want. This is the kind of energy that's steady and it just keeps going. But you got to go through the grind to get there. It's like we got to pay the price a little bit, the karmic price, for living a kind of debaucherous life for a while, and we got to be a little slow and sluggish and stuff until we start to rebuild. You gotta have that in you to want to do that. And if you don't, it's cool. But I'm just saying there might be a point where we have to go through a bit of a melancholic period. So I'm telling you that ahead of time so you know what it is and you don't give up, because the mind will use that to give up and send you back out to get your drug. It's no different. Dopamine, you're addicted to dopamine, you're addicted to cocaine, you're addicted to weed. It's just all addiction, Dopamine's no different. The thing about dopamine and what makes it more dangerous, we don't have to go to a dope dealer's house. We are the dope dealer. The brain is the dope dealer. And so it'll give it to us anytime we want. It doesn't cost anything. Like I said, you can be in a hospital bed and still get a dopamine hit via sexual fantasy. So that's what I wanted to say. And let me know where you're at in your journey, your streak. Like, are you experiencing these symptoms? Some people, they just see, it depends how long you've been doing it. If you've been crashing your nerves for a long time and you already have a nervous system imbalance and weakness, you're going to pay this price a little more. If you have a strong constitution already, you've been doing this for a few years, and then some good karma inside you, spiritual tendency wakes up and says, man, I want to stop doing this. This is stupid, and you stop, you may not have such that long of a journey to get regenerated again. But the good news is anybody can regenerate to some degree, okay, to a high degree, because I've just showed you. Just think about it. Do your own introspection. Just write down all the different ways that you've lost energy, that you can lose energy via this sexual instinct and this obsessive compulsive, desire to get a dopamine hit via the sexual world. Write down all that and you can see. And better than that, pay attention each day to how many times you think have these thoughts. And pay attention when you go outside and you're in public or at the beach especially, pay attention to where your mind's at. It's almost like the people, you can't help it. the energy, the habit's so strong. It just looks at the girls. Even if you're not looking at them, you're thinking about them. You're like, damn, there's girls out here, and I'm not going to look. So you start to see how, much of a control this sexual instinct has over the mind, how excessive it became. You got to bring that back into balance. This is important. You don't see, the mind will say, oh, I'm only 20 or I'm a teen, I'll stop later. Everybody says that. Then they end up 50, 60, 70 years old, they're still doing it, and that's a mess. You see, there's no tomorrow. Tomorrow's now. If you're not doing it now, you're not doing it. Like I said, there's plenty of older people. I saw them in Thailand especially. They're running around like teenagers, like sex addict teenagers, except they're 60, 70 years old. It looks really weird. You don't want to be like that. You want to get control of this now, and have some, you want to be out of this human attraction level. You want to get onto the level where people are attracted to you because of your wisdom and your experience and your energy. You want a girl like that, that's attracted to that, not the bubblegum chewing girls that are attracted to the bubblegum chewing guys. I mean, it's cool. That's another level. That has to play out. But those that are watching these videos, I'm encouraging you to go to the next level. This is why I'm sharing it. If I didn't feel people wanted to do that, I wouldn't share this. I don't like to hear myself talk, and then I got to come out in the jungle and get bit by mosquitoes to make these videos. So that's what I'm saying. All right, have a good day.